Welcome. My name is Mr. Sudareen, and today's lesson we're going to look at how can a table help to solve problems involving the conversion of yards, feet, and inches. Before we get into today's lesson, we're going to look at different types of measurements of distance. We're going to look at inches, feet, and yards. In real-life situations, we may have to convert one measurement to another. So in these examples, we're going to look at when we're converting yards to feet, yards to inches, and feet to inches. So here we know that 1 yard equals 3 feet. We also know that 1 yard equals 36 inches. And lastly, 1 feet equals 12 inches. This information is going to be very helpful for us to know between the different types of conversions, especially the problems and situations we'll be looking at in today's lesson. So we're going to do a little bit of practice with conversions. So for here, complete the conversion table at the right. Here we're given that we have pounds, so we have 1 pound, 3 pounds, 7 pounds, 10 pounds, and 17 pounds. We want to convert it to ounces. And just for your reference, we know that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So try your best and complete this section of the ounces. And what we'll do is on the next slide, we'll compare your answers with the ones that I provided. So when completing the ounces section, we can use this guide. Since 1 pound equals 16 ounces, we can multiply pounds by 16 to give us the number of ounces for the given pound. Here, if we're looking at 1 pound, we know it equals 16 ounces because we do 1 times 16. For example, let's say if we need to know how many ounces are in 7 pounds, we can do 7 times 16 equals 112 ounces. And we could do the same thing for the other values. We're going to look at some other practice conversions. So here I want you to complete the conversion table at the right. Here we have yards and we're converting it into feet. The rule here, the rule of converting yards to feet is 1 yard equals 3 feet. So pause the video and think about how you would complete this section here. Okay, so when completing this section, we know that since 1 yard equals 3 feet, we can multiply yards by 3 to give us the number of feet for the given yard. So here, if we're looking at 1 yard, we know that we can multiply by 3 to give us 3 feet. If we're looking at 4 yards, we know that we can do 4 times 3 equals 12. And let's say if we're looking for how many feet are in 14 yards, we can do 14 times 3 gives us 42 feet. Okay, we're going to do one more. Now we're going to look at converting yards into inches. So again, complete the conversion table at the right. And for here, I provided the rule for you. So we know that 1 yard equals 36 inches. So pause the video, think about how you would answer this section, and we will compare your answers with the ones that I provided. Okay, so here we go. We know that since 1 yard equals 36 inches, we can multiply yards by 36 to give us the number of inches for the given yard. So here we see that 1 yard equals 1 times 36 equals 36, so we know that 36 inches equals 1 yard. If we're looking for how many inches are in 6 yards, we can say 6 times 36 equals 216 inches. And let's say if we want to figure out how many inches are in 10 yards, we can say 10 times 36 equals 360 inches. We're going to look over some problems and see how well you do with this. Okay, Allie has a piece of string that is 6 yards 2 feet long. How many inches of string does she have? So pause the video, think about the conversions we talked about, and work on this problem, and we'll compare your answers with the one provided. We'll move on to the next slide. So for this problem, the key conversions that are going to be helpful is 1 yard equals 36 inches and 1 feet equals 12 inches. So for here, what we could do is we have 6 yards, and again, we're going to convert it into inches. So we're looking for yards to inches. We're going to look at the first part, this first conversion. Here we can say 6 times 36, and that answer is going to tell us how many inches are in 6 yards. The next section is we're looking at feet to inches. And that's going to be looking at the second conversion. 1 feet equals 12 inches. So here we can see that 2 feet, we're going to bring down that 2, and we're going to multiply it by 12. The 12 stands for the 12 inches. When we calculate this, 6 times 36 gives us 216. 2 times 12 gives us 24, and we can add the two values together, giving us 240 inches. Okay, we're going to look at some other problems. Okay, for here we have 4 different situations. Show your thinking for each conversion. So for each of these, I want you to pause the video, work through each of the problems, and see what you come up with. On the next slide, we're going to go over some of the answers. Okay, so what I provided for you is 1 yard equals 36 inches, 1 yard equals 3 feet, and 1 feet equals 12 inches. So here we can look at one example. So if we're converting yards to inches, we see that 2 yards, we bring down the 2, and we're going from yards to inches, so that means we're looking at 1 yard to inches. The key number here is 36. So we can do 2 times 36 gives us 72, and because we have 2 inches here, we can just bring that down. It's already in inches. And here we can add 72 plus 2 gives us 74. We could do the same thing for each of these problems, and just be careful with the units and what you're converting into. Okay, we're going to go into our summarization. To summarize, how can a table help to solve problems involving the conversion of yards, feet, and inches? A table helps us figure out the pattern or rule between two units of measurement. So for example here, if we're looking at yards to feet, we can see that on one side we have yards, and in order to convert it to feet, we can develop a rule. Here the rule is 1 yard equals 3 feet, and for each of these values we can multiply by 3 to give us the number of feet indicated yards. Hope this was helpful, and have a great day.